Last month, I traveled 18 hours to Cuenca, Ecuador to attend a kit launch for the biggest project in Jersey Bird history. I met with club owners and players, announced the kit partnership on a live radio show, and even visited the real-world locations that inspired our kit designs, all 7 of them. In this video, I'm sharing the full trip from start to finish, giving you a behind-the-scenes look at life as Jersey Bird's CEO, and introducing you to the hottest club in South America right now, Cuenca Jrs. Let's start off with the club and a quick breakdown of how football works in Ecuador. Founded in 2024 by brothers JD and Esteban Coellar alongside Juan, Pablo, Eljuri, and Juan, Gustavo, Palacios, Cuenca Jrs took Ecuador by storm last year, going undefeated across their 13 league matches, scoring 58 goals while conceding just 3. They had arguably the most dominant third division season in Ecuadorian history, and their ambitions are massive. They plan to rise to the top league, Serie A, in just a few years and eventually win the Copa Libertadores to become the #1 club in South America. Last year, their first ever playoff run ended in the quarterfinals of the Ascenso Nacional, the national tournament that decides promotion. And the road to promotion is not easy. Over 220 clubs across Ecuador's 22 provinces compete in the third division. Only 64 qualify for the final tournament, Ascenso Nacional. From there, it's a brutal gauntlet. 5 knockout rounds, each with a home and away leg, with only the winning club and the finalist getting promoted. Cuenca Jrs made it through 3 of those 5 rounds, but fell 1 goal short of the semifinals, ending their dream run just inches from promotion. We began our partnership with them by launching a limited edition shirt late last year, and in February of 2025, we officially signed on as their full manufacturing partner for the upcoming season. That deal turned into the biggest manufacturing project in Jersey Bird history, 7 custom kits and 5 unique apparel pieces, all built from scratch. So let's get into the trip. The club had planned to reveal all the new kits on Friday, March 21st at halftime during a massive friendly against CD Cuenca, the city's first division professional team. The club invited me to come join the event, and of course, I was not about to miss it, so I left my hometown of Nashville, Tennessee on the morning of Wednesday, March 19th, 2 days before the big reveal, and after stops in Atlanta, Miami, and Quito, I finally landed in Cuenca, Ecuador. It was my first time in South America. I had been to China before to work on the manufacturing side of the company, but this was the first time I had traveled to visit one of our clubs. It was super late on Wednesday night by the time I got to my Airbnb. Here's a look at it from the outside, and here's a quick penthouse tour as I was on the top floor of the entire place. So I got this insane view of the city, which was all pretty surreal, but I'd been traveling for about 18 hours, so I pretty much went right to bed. I woke up the following morning and met up with owners JD, Esteban, and JP, and they took me to the club facility to watch a training session and see the training ground. Here's a look at the club facility and the training ground. It's actually really nice and houses 80% of the roster full-time. So pretty much every player that is not from Cuenca lives here at the training ground and receives full medical coverage and food. So it's a great setup that has helped the club really attract talent from all around the country and even internationally. Here's a look at the kitchen. Pretty cool place. Overall, it's definitely one of the best facilities in the country. Some of our new gear was just starting to be seen by the players for the first time. It's pretty cool to see everyone's reactions. Everyone really liked the designs. These were the 2 training kits we designed for the club, one light, one dark, with Cuenca Jrs text steadily placed as a pattern across the entire shirt, complete with silicone logos and larger text heat pressed across the back. We used a pretty basic but aesthetic shirt template for them, a raglan sleeve shirt with some collar and base panels. They weren't worn during that training session, but here they were the next day and the following week. It really turned out pretty clean, and I like the rooster-only alternate crests. Overall, really happy with these. The training session was also pretty cool. Got to see some of the tactics and strategy being prepared for tomorrow's match against CD Cuenca, which had already been generating some crazy energy throughout the city, with CD Cuenca's head coach publicly stating that his top division team would be treating Cuenca Jrs as if they were Liga Pro, aka a first or second division professional club. After the training session, I went to a radio studio with Esteban and JP. They were going on a live show to promote tomorrow's match, but the whole thing was in Spanish, so obviously I thought I wasn't going to participate, but halfway through, I got called up to the mic, and with Esteban helping to translate, I gave a quick intro on Jersey Bird and talked about our partnership with Cuenca Jrs, which was pretty cool. Once the show was over, we grabbed a quick lunch, then headed to the War Room, aka the club headquarters, located in the back of Pinot, a luxury residential and commercial fixture company owned by JD and Esteban. I got to see the back-end operations of the club, from ticket sales to apparel, shirt sales, and everything in between. It was pretty interesting to see. All the new gear was being stored here, so I also got to see all the items for the first time, including the home, away, and third kits. So let's do a quick design breakdown on the match kits. Starting off with the home kit, we used this shirt template for the home and away kits, a raglan sleeve construction with 6 triangular panels placed throughout the shirt. We kept the home kit centered around the club, going with a turquoise blue base with roosters, the club mascot, forming a pattern across the entire shirt with a small club name detail on the back of the neck and a subtle gold stripe along the collar and cuffs. So like I mentioned, the design direction of the home kit was solely club focused, nothing to do with the city or history behind the region, which Alessio, the designer behind this entire project and longtime Jersey Bird legend, did intentionally, because the away and third kits balance out the home kit with a lot of really good cultural references. For example, the away kit is inspired by Cuenca's nickname, the City of Four Rivers. The name comes from the 4 rivers that flow through the city, the Tomibamba, the Yanacay, Tarqui, and Machangara rivers. For reference, this is where I was staying, and here are the 4 major rivers that pass through the city. We took this 4-river formation and applied it across the front of the shirt, maintaining the exact geographic shape of the rivers, which happen to be laid out in a very aesthetic and football shirt friendly way, conveniently leaving room for front sponsors. We let the blue color of the rivers kind of bleed onto the shirt and added some subtle blue shading on areas of the shirt that didn't have any rivers to create a softer transition between the graphics and bright white base color. And I wanted to see the rivers in real life, so I just walked to the location where the Tomibamba River splits into the Yanacay, which was about 1.5 miles from my apartment. I'm actually skipping a day in the timeline here. We're jumping from Thursday, my first full day in Cuenca, to Saturday, my 3rd and final full day there, because I filmed all of this kit inspiration content on the final day of my trip, just to be clear on the chronological order of all these events. All right, now let's get back to the video. It was a really nice walk to the location where the river splits. The entire city honestly just seemed to mesh so well with the natural landscape. It was really nice, and you don't really see that back in Nashville. So I just followed the Yanacay until it met up with the Tomibamba, and right here you can actually see where the 2 rivers meet. So now I'm located right about here on the away shirt itself. Here's another angle of the river delta. Honestly, the scenery was so beautiful, and I think it translated perfectly into the kit design. And the final detail we included on the away kit was inspired by San Sebastian Plaza, a 16th century UNESCO World Heritage Site located just a few blocks from the city center. We took the unique shape of its fountain and applied it in gold along the collar and cuffs, completing the kit with another nice cultural element. And honorable mention to both the home and away keeper kits. Both of them used this same design, but just in different colors. And I do think they're worth mentioning, especially this away keeper kit. When we turned it dark, it almost became like lightning, which unintentionally looks awesome. And finally, we have the third kit, a classic set-in sleeve shirt template with a polo collar. This concept balanced out the more modern home and away kits, completing the collection with a nice classic style kit. Our inspiration for the third kit came from the tile work inside the Corte Provincial de Justicia de Azuay, which is the highest court in Azuay, one of the nation's 24 provinces and the province that Cuenca is located in. It also happened to be within a couple miles of where I was staying and right next to the city center, so I went to go check it out, and along the way I passed the Tomibamba River, another river that can be found on the away shirt. Here's a view of the area, another beautiful river flowing under the bridge that connects the north and south parts of the city. I crossed the bridge, then continued to the city center. One thing that did surprise me about this city was how organized it was, just block after block of perfectly clean streets. Really a cool place to visit, and reminded me a bit of Barcelona's layout with the constant square blocks, just super easy to get around. I finally got to the place, and of course, it was locked up for the weekend, so I could not get inside to see the tiles. I was able to film through the windows, and you can barely see some of that tile work inside the courtyard. But as I was walking back home, I noticed a back alleyway with a couple security guards, so I went over to ask if there was any way I could get inside, and it turned out that they were having an event in the theater portion of the building that day. So one of them very kindly let me in through the theater and directed me to the courtyard where I could finally see all of the beautiful tiles exactly as they appear on the third kit shirt. It's pretty awesome to see all the kit inspirations in real life, something I definitely want to incorporate into future videos. It's not easy, but it just adds so much more depth to everything. So that's what I did on Saturday. Now let's flash back 24 hours to Friday, which was match day and the event that I had visited Cuenca to see. Cuenca Jrs versus CD Cuenca, a brand new club versus an established giant that had dominated the city since their inception in 1971. Since 2003, CD Cuenca has played consistently in Serie A, Ecuador's top flight of professional football, and the idea of losing to a third division club in their own city was unthinkable. But everyone's spirits were high on that Friday afternoon as Ecuador had just confirmed their spot in the 2026 World Cup with a 2-1 win over Venezuela, which I watched from a local sports bar alongside club management. And once that game was wrapped up, we walked over to the stadium and began preparing for the match. Everything from vending foods and drinks to security and more had to be ready to go as we were expecting over 6,000 fans to attend. The stadium where the match was being held, Estadio Alejandro Serrano Aguilar, is the biggest in Cuenca, and we were pretty much the first ones there. Here's a look at the place. Not a bad venue for a friendly. We were there early, so I got to tour the entire place, took a look around, and then went to check out the pitch. The players were starting to file in, already rocking some of the new gear, and after taking some photos, they headed back to the locker room, and 20 minutes later, warm-ups were underway. So I tried to go back onto the field, but got stopped at the gate by security. Luckily though, one of the club staff recognized me and they let me through, so I was able to get some really nice footage of warm-ups. The training kits were looking awesome, as you can see, and the intensity looked a lot higher than what you'd expect for a friendly. At this point, it was about 20 minutes before kickoff, and the new shirts were absolutely flying off the shelf as fans started to file in. I even spotted a rare special edition shirt from last year. Then the players came out for the pregame lineup in the brand new home kits, and a few minutes later, we were ready for kickoff. And the turnout really did live up to the hype, with thousands of fans showing up. And just 25 minutes later, on a free kick from just outside the box, midfielder Eljuri sent a cross past everyone, and it ended up in the back of the net. An opening goal against our newfound Division 1 city rivals. It was electric. The rest of the half had a lot of back and forth action, but no one else scored, so we headed into halftime still up 1-0. Now it was time for all our new kits to be revealed. The stage was set, and one by one, each kit was revealed to the fans, with every single kit, except for the dark training kit, on display in front of thousands. After that, the second half kicked off, and again, after 30 minutes of back and forth defensive play, Argentinian striker Lucas Pugh took a shot that deflected off a defender and into the net, putting us up 2-0 and essentially securing the victory. At this point, things had gotten pretty hostile. A bench-clearing fight sparked outrage from both clubs, and after that second goal, the CD Cuenca fans clearly weren't handling the loss too well, as you can see from this back and forth interaction. But on our side, we were loving it. I even grabbed this Ecuadorian street-style hot dog and horchata drink from one of the vendors. Honestly, it was pretty good and just a great way to watch the final minutes of the match. Then the final whistle blew, and it was official. A third division club in just their second season ever had knocked off the city's oldest and most historic club, solidifying one of the greatest upsets the country had seen this century. I went back on the field to join the celebration, and here's Tuca, an Ecuadorian football legend, going through his post-game interview. A bunch of fans actually stayed to see him after the match. He's a football legend here. Honestly, might make a video specifically about him and his story because it's just crazy. He turned pro at 29 and made his national team debut at 32, and Cuenca Jrs managed to sign him in the offseason, and it's by far been their biggest signing ever. So after that, my trip was just about over. I still had Saturday, my last full day in Cuenca, which I spent visiting all those kit inspiration locations that I had discussed earlier, and just doing some general tourism stuff like checking out the central square and trying some of the food, which was also really good. Saturday night, on my way back to the Airbnb, I caught some of the cool graffiti artwork near my neighborhood, and that was pretty much everything. Here's another look at the insane view. For some reason, there were some fireworks as well, maybe in honor of a successful visit or a successful professional club project. And just to recap the entire thing, we created 3 match kits, including this Club Crest inspired home kit, this 4 Rivers inspired away kit, and this City Tilework inspired third kit. We designed 2 training kits, 1 light, 1 dark, along with 2 keeper kits that were based on the away kit, also one light and one dark. And on the apparel side, we designed this player and staff polo, this tracksuit jacket, which also came with matching sweatpants. And lastly, we also designed this windbreaker, a navy blue jacket with white and gold accents, along with this hooded rain jacket for the club to wear on travel days. So overall, it was a 12-piece project, every piece custom designed with a specific purpose in mind. And again, shout out to Alessio, the designer behind the entire project. Honestly, it might be our best work yet. We've come a long way in the past 2 years, and if you're looking for a new manufacturer, you can start a project with us in less than 5 minutes, and we'll do our best to create the nicest possible gear for your organization. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Drop a like, subscribe. I'll be making more content like this all year, so stick around as we have some big things planned. And finally, to wrap this video up, here is our official release video for all 3 shirts. If you want to support the club, go check them out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.